Emily Carter had it all: a corner office in Chicago's glittering skyline, a wardrobe that screamed success, and a life polished to perfection. But perfection cracked the day a Seattle lawyer's letter landed on her desk, announcing her ex-husband Daniel's remarriage and a chilling request: relinquish all parental rights to their daughter, Lily. 8 years ago, Emily walked away from her firefighter husband and 6-month-old daughter, chasing ambition with a wealthy mentor who promised the world. Now, the world felt hollow. Lily, the child she barely knew, had fought a heart condition while Daniel worked himself to the bone. Guilt gnawed at Emily, but obsession took root. She returned to Seattle. Watching from shadows as another woman, Olivia became Lily's true mother. Desperate to reclaim her place, Emily crashed Daniel's waterfront wedding, her designer gown a stark contrast to the simple vows. "Please, I've changed," she begged, but Lily's terrified eyes, unrecognizing, accusing, shattered her. Daniel's fury was a blade. "You're too late." Humiliated, rejected, Emily faced a truth sharper than loss. Some choices are unforgivable, and love demands presence, not promises. Would she find redemption, or remain a ghost in her daughter's life? The Chicago sunrise painted golden streaks across Emily Carter's 40th floor office, where glass walls framed a city she'd conquered. At 36, she was a partner at Sterling and Vance, her name etched on frosted glass, her life a testament to ambition. Her desk, a sleek slab of walnut, held case files and a single-framed photo of herself at a gala, smiling beside Victor Langston, her mentor. But this morning, her manicured hands trembled as she held a cream envelope from a Seattle law firm, its weight heavier than any brief she'd ever filed. The letterhead, Thompson and Reed, stirred a buried ache. She tore it open, her legal precision faltering as she read: Daniel Brooks requests Ms. Carter relinquish all parental rights to Lily Brooks, age 8, to facilitate adoption by his fiancée, Olivia Hayes. Emily's breath caught. Daniel, her ex-husband, was erasing her from their daughter's life. She hadn't seen Lily since she was 6 months old, when Emily left Seattle. Seduced by Victor's promises of a glittering career, the letter continued: Mr. Brooks is forming a new family unit and requests no further contact. New family unit. The phrase was a sledgehammer. Daniel wasn't just moving on, he was replacing her. Lily, the baby she'd rocked in a cramped apartment, was now a stranger, and another woman would claim her forever. Her office, once a sanctuary, felt suffocating. She scanned the letter again, eyes snagging on adoption. Lily was 8, old enough to laugh, to dream, to forget the mother who'd abandoned her. Emily's fingers traced a faint scar on her wrist, a reminder of the car accident that introduced her to Victor. He'd been a client. Then her escape from Daniel's calloused hands and Lily's endless cries. She convinced herself she was choosing freedom, but now, staring at legal words that severed her last tie to her daughter, freedom felt like exile. Her assistant's voice crackled through the intercom: Ms. Carter, Mr. Langston's here for your 9 o'clock. Emily shoved the letter into a drawer. But its words burned in her mind. Victor entered, silver-haired and commanding, his tailored suit a mirror of the life she'd chased. "Emily, you look pale. Everything all right?" His voice, laced with a New York edge, once made her pulse race. Now it grated. She forced a smile, but Daniel's request echoed: no further contact. Victor represented everything she'd wanted: wealth, status, escape. But seeing him now only sharpened the memory of what she'd lost. Emily's mind spiraled. Who was Olivia Hayes? What kind of mother would she be to Lily? And Daniel, steady, selfless Daniel. How had he survived 8 years without her? The letter wasn't just a legal document. It was a mirror reflecting the life she'd discarded. She'd built a fortress of success, but its walls were crumbling. By noon, Emily dialed a private investigator she'd used for corporate cases. "Mark, I need information on someone," she said, voice steady despite her racing heart. "Daniel Brooks, Seattle. Completely confidential." She hung up, staring out at Chicago's skyline. The city she'd conquered felt like a prison, and Seattle, a place she'd fled, was calling her back to face the wreckage of her choices. 8 years ago, Emily Carter stood in a Seattle apartment that smelled of coffee and baby powder, her world shrinking with every cry from Lily's crib. At 28, she was married to Daniel Brooks, a firefighter whose steady love couldn't soothe her restlessness. Their home, A second-floor walk-up above a bakery was cozy but claustrophobic. Daniel's boots, caked with ash, sat by the door. Lily's bottles cluttered the sink. Emily, a junior attorney at a small firm, felt trapped, her Harvard law degree gathering dust while she drowned in diapers and debt. "Danny, I'm home," he'd call each evening, his voice warm despite 24-hour shifts. She'd nod, barely looking up from her laptop, resentment simmering. One spring night, Lily wailed for hours, her 6-month-old screams piercing Emily's frayed nerves. "She won't stop," Emily snapped, slumped at the kitchen table in a stained blouse. Daniel scooped Lily up, his hands gentle, and within minutes, she cooed, content. His ease only deepened Emily's sense of failure. "We could grab dinner out," he suggested, eyes hopeful. "With what, Danny?" "We're broke after her pediatrician bills." Her words cut sharper than intended, and his face fell. She wasn't just tired. She was suffocating, dreaming of a life beyond Seattle's gray drizzle. Then came Victor Langston. A fender bender involving his Mercedes and a city truck brought him to her firm, assigned his case. Emily found herself captivated by his worldliness. Over late-night meetings, he painted visions of Chicago's elite firms, penthouses, and freedom. "You're wasted here, Emily," he'd said, his hand lingering on hers. "I can open doors, 6 figures, real power." It was a siren call to her ambition. Daniel's simple honesty, his "I love you," whispered before dawn shifts, paled against Victor's promises. She began to see her marriage as a cage, Lily's needs as chains. The morning she left was etched in clarity. Daniel kissed her goodbye, murmuring, "You and Lily are my everything." She waited until his truck rumbled away, then packed 2 suitcases, her law degree, and Lily's birth certificate, telling herself it was for records. Lily slept in her crib, tiny fists curled, her breath soft. Emily's heart ached to take her, but Victor's offer was clear, a fresh start, no baggage. She wrote a note, hand shaking, "I can't be the wife or mother you need. Don't look for me." Standing in the doorway, she watched Lily's chest rise and fall, the urge to stay warring with her hunger for more. She chose more. Driving to the airport, she convinced herself it was best. Daniel would thrive, Lily would be fine. But as Seattle faded, guilt seeped in. She buried it under Chicago's dazzle, Victor's mentorship, and a career that soared. Now, 8 years later, holding Daniel's letter in her Chicago office, that morning replayed like a verdict. She traded a family's warmth for a cold empire. Lily, the baby she'd left sleeping, was now a girl with a new mother, and Daniel, the man she'd dismissed, was building a life without her. The letter wasn't just a request, it was proof her escape had cost her everything that mattered. Emily closed her eyes. The Seattle apartment's walls closing in once more. Emily Carter's Chicago penthouse was a shrine to her success, marble floors, floor-to-ceiling windows. A view of Lake Michigan that screamed triumph. But as she opened the manila envelope from her investigator, Mark, her polished world cracked. The report was clinical, devastating. Daniel Brooks, 36. Seattle firefighter, sole proprietor of Brooks Emergency Services. Residence, 214 Pine Avenue, Seattle, unchanged for 9 years. The same craftsman bungalow where they'd brought Lily home from the hospital, where Emily had felt trapped. Daniel hadn't fled their past. He'd rooted himself in it. But the next section stopped her cold. Medical debt, 2020 to 2024. Seattle Children's Hospital versus Brooks, $62,000. Payment plan active. Puget Sound Medical versus Brooks, $29,000. Settled. Medical debt, nearly $100,000. For what? Mark's note was vague. Records sealed. Minor child privacy protections. Unable to confirm medical services. Emily's mind raced. Lily, only 8, had faced a crisis that buried Daniel in debt. Her lawyer's salary, enough for yachts and galas, felt trivial against those numbers. The report continued. Brooks works 3 jobs, fire station, private ambulance service, weekend paramedic training. Daniel, who once fretted over a $20 dinner, was working himself to death for their daughter, the daughter Emily had abandoned. She poured coffee, hands trembling, and read on. Engaged to Olivia Hayes, 34, pediatric nurse, Seattle Children's Hospital. Olivia. The name burned. The woman stepping into Emily's place wasn't just a fiancée. She was Lily's savior, woven into their lives through hospital rooms and hope. Emily pictured Daniel's bungalow, once filled with her resentment, now a home for a new family. She called Mark. "Dig deeper," she said, voice tight. "Lily's medical history, Olivia's role." Discreetly. He hesitated. "This is personal, isn't it?" She didn't answer, hanging up as her eyes drifted to the lake, its vastness mocking her isolation. 3 days later, Mark's email arrived. Lily Brooks, diagnosed with tetralogy of Fallot, 2021, age 4. Multiple surgeries, ongoing care. Olivia Hayes, primary nurse. Instrumental in recovery. Emily's breath hitched. A heart condition, her daughter's heart, fragile, fighting while Emily attended client dinners. The report included a photo, Daniel, grayer than she remembered, pushing Lily in a hospital wheelchair, Olivia beside them, her smile gentle but fierce. Lily looked small, but her eyes sparkled, alive. Emily's chest ached. She'd missed it all, surgeries, fear, hope, while Daniel and Olivia carried Lily through hell. She paced her penthouse, the investigator's words looping. Brooks refused financial aid. Insists on paying debts himself. Stubborn, proud Daniel, who'd once saved for a cheap ring with overtime, was drowning for Lily's sake. Emily thought of her own life, designer bags. Empty relationships with men like Victor. She'd traded love for status, and now Lily had a mother who'd stayed. The realization was a knife. While Emily chased power, Daniel fought for life. And Olivia became the mother she'd never been. She booked a flight to Seattle that night, her carry-on packed with clothes too fine for Pine Avenue's quiet streets. She couldn't undo the past, but she needed to see the life she'd left behind, to understand the family that no longer needed her. The truth, she knew, waited in Seattle, and it would break her. Emily Carter's rental car idled on Seattle's Pine Avenue, the Craftsman bungalow at 214 unchanged except for fresh paint and a tricycle on the lawn. 8 years ago, she'd fled this street. Its modest home's a symbol of her suffocation. Now, at 36, Chicago's gloss peeled away. Seattle's drizzle felt like judgment. She'd arrived 2 days ago, her designer suitcase jarring in the airport's utilitarian glow. She hadn't planned to come this close, but the investigators report Lily's heart condition, Daniel's sacrifices, Olivia's love drove her here. From her car, she watched the house, its warm lights mocking her cold penthouse. A woman emerged, petite, dark-haired, in scrubs. Olivia Hayes. She knelt to tie a girl's shoe. Lily. Emily's throat tightened. Lily was 8, her auburn curls shorter, her frame delicate but vibrant. She laughed, clutching a stuffed rabbit, as Olivia guided her to a beat-up Subaru. They moved with ease, a mother-daughter rhythm Emily had never mastered. She followed at a distance, heart pounding, to Lincoln Elementary. Olivia parked, walking Lily to the gate, her hand resting protectively on her shoulder. Lily waved, then ran to friends, her energy a miracle given her medical history. Emily parked across the street, sunglasses hiding her tears. This was her daughter, yet a stranger. She drove to a coffee shop, ordering an espresso she didn't drink, and pulled out Mark's latest report. Olivia Hayes. Employed at Seattle Children's since 2015. Divorced, no children. Primary caregiver during Lily's hospitalizations. Emily imagined Olivia in sterile rooms, comforting Lily while Daniel worked. She'd seen them yesterday at a park, Olivia pushing Lily on a swing, checking her watch, likely monitoring her heart. 5 more minutes, sweetie, she'd said, her voice carrying. Lily obeyed. Trusting. Emily had never had that trust, always counting minutes until Daniel took over. The bungalow's porch swing, where she'd once argued with Daniel, now held a different scene. Last night, she'd driven by, seeing Daniel and Olivia there, Lily asleep against Olivia's shoulder. Daniel's arm draped around them, his laugh soft, unburdened. Emily had gripped her steering wheel, the intimacy ablaze. This wasn't the strained marriage she'd left. It was a family, whole without her. She checked into a downtown hotel, its luxury clashing with her turmoil. Sleep eluded her. Lily's laugh echoing, Olivia's care contrast to her own impatience 8 years ago. Today, she returned to Pine Avenue, parking 2 blocks away. Kids spilled from the school, and Lily emerged, clutching a drawing. Olivia knelt, examining it with genuine delight, tucking it into her bag like treasure. Emily's chest ached. Her own moments with Lily had been rushed, distracted. She followed them to a pharmacy, watching through the window as Olivia picked up a prescription, Lily chatting with the clerk. How's our heart warrior? He asked. Lily grinned, proud. Olivia's hand never left her, vigilant yet warm. Emily saw what she'd never been, present. Driving back to her hotel, Seattle's gray skyline loomed, familiar yet alien. She'd come to understand her loss, but seeing Lily thrive without her was a deeper cut. Olivia wasn't just a replacement. She was better. Emily stared at her phone, Mark's number glowing. "Find me someone in Seattle," she said. "A friend from my old life. I need answers." The truth was here, and she'd face it, even if it destroyed her. Emily Carter sat in a Seattle diner. Its vinyl booths and coffee-stained counters a far cry from Chicago's upscale bistros. Across from her was Claire Thompson, her old neighbor from Pine Avenue, now 40. With gray streaks in her dark hair and eyes that held no warmth, Emily had tracked her down through Mark, needing someone who'd witnessed the life she'd abandoned. Claire's presence was a lifeline and a reckoning. "You've got some nerve showing up," Claire said, her voice flat, cutting through the diner's hum. Emily clutched her coffee, the steam rising like her shame. "I need to know about Lily, about Daniel," she said. "Please." Claire's gaze hardened. "You left them, Emily. What do you expect to hear?" She leaned forward, voice low. "Lily almost died. Tetralogy of Fallot, diagnosed at 4. Her heart was failing, and Daniel was a wreck, working 3 jobs to pay for surgeries. He sold his dad's watch, his motorcycle. Everything." Emily's stomach churned. She pictured Daniel, who'd once saved for a crib with overtime, dismantling his life for their daughter. "Why didn't he tell me?" she whispered. Claire's laugh was bitter. "Tell you what? That your kid was dying while you were sipping champagne in Chicago." The words landed like blows. Emily's mind flashed to gala nights with Victor. Her laughter hollow while Lily fought for breath. "Olivia was there," Claire continued. "A nurse at Children's. She wasn't even assigned to Lily but stayed through every surgery, every scare. She taught Daniel how to manage Lily's meds, kept him sane when he thought he'd lose her." Emily's eyes stung. Olivia, the stranger in scrubs, had been Lily's anchor while she, the mother, was a ghost. "Lily calls her mom now," Claire said, softer but no less cutting. "She doesn't even know you existed." Emily's hands shook, coffee sloshing. She'd seen Lily yesterday, radiant at school, Olivia's hand guiding her. Now, Claire's words painted the gaps. Daniel's sleepless nights, Olivia's shaved head during Lily's recovery to make her feel less alone. Lily's tiny voice asking for her real mom during hospital stays. "Daniel protected your memory," Claire said. "Told Lily you were helping other kids, too busy to visit. He lied to spare her the truth." Emily's sob escaped, raw, drawing stares. Her daughter believed she was a hero, not a deserter. Claire stood, tossing a napkin on the table. "You want to know more? Go see for yourself, but don't you dare walk into their lives. Daniel's been through hell, and Lily's finally happy." She left, the diner door jangling. Emily sat frozen. Claire's words a mirror to her failure. She'd come to Seattle seeking answers, but each one deepened her guilt. Lily's survival, Daniel's sacrifice, Olivia's love, all thrived without her. She drove to Pine Avenue, parking in the dark, the bungalow's lights glowing. Inside, Lily was safe, loved. Emily's hotel room awaited, empty, but sleep wouldn't come. She opened her laptop, researching medical debt relief, a flicker of purpose igniting. She couldn't undo her absence, but maybe she could ease Daniel's burden. It was a desperate act, but it was something. Tomorrow, she'd call a lawyer, someone discreet. The truth had broken her, but it also showed her a way to try, however futile, to make amends. Emily Carter's hotel room in downtown Seattle was a sterile cocoon, its sleek lines and harbor view a stark contrast to the chaos in her heart. For 3 nights, she'd paced. Claire's words, "Lily almost died," looping like a verdict. The investigator's report lay open on the desk, detailing Daniel's $91,000 medical debt, a mountain built to save their daughter. Emily's Chicago salary, bloated with bonuses, mocked her now. She could pay it off in a week, but Daniel's pride, Claire's warning, and Lily's unrecognition haunted her. Still, she had to try. She called David Marshall, a Seattle attorney known for discreet financial resolutions. "I need to settle a debt anonymously," she said, voice steady despite her trembling hands. "Daniel Brooks? All medical bills. No trace to me." Marshall's pause was heavy. "That's a large sum, Miss Carter. Why the secrecy?" She didn't answer, picturing Lily's curls, Olivia's care. "Make it look like a charity grant," she instructed. Call it the Horizon Fund. Within 48 hours, Marshall arranged it. $100,000 to clear Seattle Children's Hospital and Puget Sound medical debts. Disguised as a nonprofit's gift, Emily transferred the funds from her savings, a dent in her wealth but a spark of hope. Maybe she couldn't be Lily's mother, but she could free Daniel from financial shackles. She spent the next day trailing Lily's routine, her rental car a shadow on Seattle's wet streets. At Lincoln Elementary, she watched Olivia pick Lily up, her scrubs wrinkled, her smile bright as Lily showed her a spelling test. At the pharmacy, Olivia collected heart meds, Lily chatting about a school play. Emily's chest ached. Her own mothering had been impatient, distracted. Olivia was seamless, present. Emily drove to Pine Avenue, the bungalow's porch swaying empty. She imagined Daniel's relief when the debts vanished, a weight lifted. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was something. For days later, Marshall called, his voice tight. "There's a problem, Miss Carter." Daniel traced the Horizon Fund's paperwork to my office. "He's here now, and he wants to speak to you." Emily's blood froze. Before she could respond, Daniel's voice cut through, raw with fury. "Put her on, Marshall." A shuffle, then his words hit like shrapnel. "You think money fixes this, Emily? Where was your help when Lily couldn't breathe? When I thought I'd bury her?" His rage was a fire she'd never heard, not in their quiet marriage. "I didn't know," she stammered, tears falling. "I didn't know she was sick." "You didn't want to know," he spat. "You chose your fancy life over us. Money doesn't buy you back into Lily's life." His voice dropped, lethal. "Stay away, or I'll make sure you regret it." The line went dead. Marshall returned, apologetic. "He's rejecting the funds, Miss Carter. Wants no connection to you." Emily stared at her phone. Daniel's words a death knell. Even her wealth, her last offering, was poison to him. Driving through Seattle's rain, she passed the bungalow, its lights dim. Lily was inside, safe, loved, and Emily was nothing, a ghost rejected by the family she'd abandoned. Her redemption had failed, and the cost was absolute. Emily Carter's Seattle hotel room became a war room, littered with coffee cups and notes on Lily's schedule. Daniel's rejection, "Stay away, or I'll make you regret it," should have sent her back to Chicago, but it ignited a fire instead. She'd seen Lily's radiant smile, Olivia's unwavering care, and Daniel's rebuilt life. And it wasn't enough to observe from shadows. She needed to be part of it, to prove she'd changed. Her once orderly mind, honed by legal precision, unraveled into obsession. She rented a modest apartment in Fremont, 3 miles from Pine Avenue, and began trailing Lily's routine with desperate intensity, her rental car a constant on Seattle's wet streets. Mornings meant Lincoln Elementary, where Emily parked across from the school, watching Olivia drop Lily off at 8:15. Lily's auburn curls bounced as she hugged Olivia, who checked her backpack with a nurse's vigilance. Emily noted every detail: Lily's heart-shaped lunchbox, her blue coat, the way she skipped to class. Afternoons brought doctor visits at Seattle Children's, Emily lingering in the parking garage as Olivia guided Lily through checkups. "You're so brave," Olivia would say, handing Lily a sticker. Emily's heart twisted. She'd never praised Lily's small victories, too busy resenting motherhood. Evenings were hardest. From a distance, Emily watched the bungalow's windows glow. Daniel came home at 6:30, his firefighter's frame weary but lightened by Lily's hugs. Olivia cooked, Lily helped, their laughter spilling out. Emily sat in her car, rain blurring her view, imagining herself in that kitchen, not as the harried wife she'd been, but as a mother Lily could love. She researched parental rights, her laptop glowing late into the night. She still had legal standing. Michigan law allowed biological mothers to contest adoptions. She could fight, demand visitation, force her way back. The thought consumed her, a dangerous spark. One Saturday, she followed them to Green Lake Park. Lily ran ahead, Daniel and Olivia trailing, their hands linked. When Lily tired, Olivia knelt, checking her pulse with subtle expertise. Then scooped her up. "Time to rest, heart warrior," she said. Lily nestled against her, trusting. Emily, hidden by trees, sobbed. Olivia wasn't just a mother, she was Lily's safe harbor. Everything Emily had failed to be. Yet the more she saw Olivia's perfection, the stronger her resolve grew. She couldn't let Lily become another woman's child without a fight. She stopped sleeping, her days a cycle of surveillance and planning. She memorized Olivia's shifts, Lily's playdates, Daniel's firehouse hours. At a coffee shop, She overheard a teacher mention Lily's school play. A chance to see her perform. Emily bought a ticket, her first reckless step closer. She drafted letters to Daniel, pleading for a chance, but never sent them, fearing his threat. Instead, she watched. Waited, her obsession a tightening coil. Claire's warning, don't walk into their lives, faded against her need to be seen. The wedding loomed. A date she'd learned from a dropped invitation at a pharmacy. June 15th, Daniel and Olivia would marry, and Olivia would adopt Lily, severing Emily's last tie. She couldn't let it happen without acting. Her plan formed, reckless and raw. She'd confront them at the wedding, demand they hear her. It was her last chance, and she'd risk everything. The Seattle waterfront sparkled under June's gentle sun, the Puget Sound a shimmering backdrop to Daniel Brooks and Olivia Hayes' wedding. Emily Carter stood at the venue's edge. Her cream Dior gown a glaring contrast to the simple elegance of the event. She'd parked blocks away, her heels clicking with purpose as she approached the outdoor ceremony. The invitation she'd glimpsed June 15th, Soundview Garden, had fueled weeks of planning. Today, Olivia would become Lily's legal mother, and Emily's last tie to her daughter would snap. She couldn't let it happen without a fight. Her heart pounded, but her resolve was steel. She'd make them see her, changed, repentant, worthy. The garden was intimate. 40 guests seated on white chairs, wildflowers woven into a driftwood arch lily. 8 stood up front in a navy dress, clutching a ring pillow, her curls glowing. Daniel, handsome in a gray suit, smiled at her, his calm a testament to a man who'd rebuild his life. Emily slipped behind a cedar tree, unnoticed, as music swelled. Olivia appeared, her blue dress flowing. Eyes locked on Daniel and Lily with radiant love. The minister, a warm-voiced woman, began. We gather to celebrate a family forged through sacrifice and devotion. Emily's chest tightened. This wasn't just a wedding. It was a coronation of Olivia's role as Lily's mother. The vows came, Daniel's I do, strong, Olivia's, tearful, Lily's my daughter in every way. Lily beamed, proud. The minister's voice rose. If anyone objects to this union, speak now or forever hold your peace. Emily stepped forward, her gown catching the light, drawing gasps. Stop. Her voice rang out. Desperate, shattering the serenity. Heads turned, faces shocked. Lily's smile vanished, her eyes wide with fear. Daniel, please hear me. Emily moved toward the aisle, tears streaming. I know I was wrong, but I've changed. I left Chicago, my career, everything, to be here for Lily. Daniel's face drained of color, then flushed with rage. Get out, he hissed, stepping forward. Lily clung to Olivia, whimpering, Mom, who's that? The words gutted Emily. Her daughter didn't know her, saw only a stranger. Lily, it's me, your first mom, Emily sobbed, reaching out. Lily buried her face in Olivia's dress, trembling. Make her go away, she cried. Guest rose, murmuring, some blocking Emily's path. Claire Thompson appeared, her expression a mix of pity and fury. Emily, leave, she said firmly. Daniel's voice cut through, deadly calm. You abandoned her, Emily. Olivia saved her life. You don't get to do this. Emily's knees buckled, but she pressed on. I love you both. I can be better now. Lily's sobs grew louder, and Olivia knelt, shielding her, whispering comfort. The minister hesitated, then spoke. Please, this is a sacred moment. Emily's desperation crumbled against Lily's fear, Daniel's anger, the guest's judgment. She was an intruder, her presence poison. Claire and 2 men guided her toward the gate, her sobs echoing. I'm sorry, she choked, but Daniel's glare silenced her. As she stumbled away, the ceremony resumed, Lily's cries fading. Emily had gambled everything, her pride, her last hope, and lost. The waterfront's beauty mocked her, a glittering reminder of the family she'd never reclaim. Emily Carter stumbled from the Soundview Garden, her Dior gown catching on the gate as Seattle's waterfront blurred through tears. The wedding guest murmurs shock, anger, pity followed her like a tide. She crashed Daniel and Olivia's ceremony, begging for forgiveness, but Lily's terrified, make her go away, and Daniel's I see you abandoned her, had stripped her bare. Her rental car was blocks away, but her legs gave out on a bench overlooking Puget Sound. She sobbed, mascara streaking, the polished attorney reduced to a broken woman. Claire Thompson's voice echoed, Emily, leave. Even Claire, once a friend, had stood with Daniel, protecting Lily from her. Back at the garden, She'd seen the wall of guests, neighbors, firefighters, Olivia's family, closing ranks. Daniel's final words. "You don't get to do this," carried 8 years of pain. Lily, clinging to Olivia, hadn't recognized her own mother, her fear a blade sharper than rejection. Emily's plea, "I can be better," had dissolved against the truth. Olivia had saved Lily through surgeries, sleepless nights, and love, while Emily chased status in Chicago. The minister's call to resume the ceremony was a death knell, the vows continuing as if Emily's outburst were a fleeting storm. She replayed the moment she stepped forward, her gown a beacon of her outsider status. Guest whispered, "Who is she?" Daniel's ex, abandoned them years ago. A firefighter friend of Daniel's had blocked her path, his glare protective. Claire's pity stung worst, her hand firm but gentle as she led Emily out. "You're hurting them," she'd said. Emily had wanted to scream she was hurting too. Her regret a living thing, but Lily's sobs silenced her. Her daughter, the heart warrior, saw her as a threat, not a mother. Now, on the bench, Emily clutched her purse, the weight of her failure crushing. She'd come to Seattle seeking redemption, but her obsession had led to public disgrace. Daniel's threat loomed, "Stay away, or I'll make you regret it." And she believed him. He'd rebuilt a family with Olivia, a woman who'd shaved her head in solidarity during Lily's recovery, who knew Lily's heart meds by heart. Emily's $100,000 attempt to clear their debts had been rejected, her money as unwelcome as her presence. She was poison to them, a ghost who'd haunted their joy. Passers-by glanced at her. A woman in a designer dress weeping alone, but none stopped. She thought of Chicago, her penthouse, Victor's empty promises, a career built on her greatest mistake. Returning there was unthinkable. She needed to stay, to be near Lily, even if only as a shadow. She'd rent the Fremont apartment permanently, take a job far from Pine Avenue, watch from a distance. The wedding would end with rings exchanged, Lily cheering as Olivia became her legal mother. Emily had no place in that picture. Her humiliation was complete, her rejection absolute. Standing, she wiped her face, resolve hardening. She'd lost her family, but she wouldn't lose herself. Seattle was her penance, her chance to learn what love meant, even if it was too late for forgiveness. She walked to her car, the sound of distant music from the wedding a reminder. Lily was happy, and that was the only truth that mattered now. Emily Carter's Fremont apartment was a far cry from her Chicago penthouse, peeling paint, a single window overlooking a noisy street, a bed that creaked. 6 months after crashing Daniel and Olivia's wedding, she'd made Seattle her home, not out of hope for reconciliation but as a quiet act of penance. The humiliation of that June day, Lily's fear. Daniel's fury, the guest's judgment, had broken her, but it also reshaped her. She'd sold her Chicago assets, resigned from Sterling and Vance, and ended things with Victor Langston, whose parting words, "You're throwing away everything," rang hollow. Her greatest loss wasn't status, it was Lily, the daughter she'd failed. She took a job at Harper & Sons, a small family law firm, earning a third of her old salary. Her Harvard credentials raised eyebrows, but she embraced the grunt work, document reviews, pro bono cases for struggling parents. It was grounding. A contrast to her past ambition. She lived 3 miles from Pine Avenue, close enough to feel Lily's presence, far enough to honor Daniel's warning. From a distance, she observed Lily's life, her heart both aching and soaring. At Lincoln Elementary, Lily, now 9, played with friends, her heart condition in remission. Olivia picked her up, always vigilant, always warm. Emily learned Lily's rhythms through careful watching. School at 8:15, doctor visits Wednesdays, park playdates on sunny weekends. She never approached her wedding outburst a lesson in boundaries. Instead, she channeled her love into action. She volunteered at Seattle Children's Hospital, fundraising for families buried in medical debt like Daniel had been. Her $100,000 attempt to help him had failed, but she could help others. She spoke at charity events, her polished voice now telling stories of resilience, never mentioning her own. It wasn't redemption. It was purpose. One spring day, she walked through Green Lake Park, timing her visit to see Lily. From a bench, she watched Olivia push Lily on a swing, Daniel joining them. His laugh free of the weight she'd once known. Lily ran faster now, her heart stronger, her joy infectious. Olivia caught her, checking her pulse subtly, and Emily smiled, bittersweet. Olivia was the mother Lily deserved, her love proven in hospital rooms and daily care. Daniel and Olivia moved as partners, their glances a language of shared strength. Emily had no place here, but seeing Lily thrive was enough. She began advocating for child welfare, drafting proposals for debt relief programs. Her legal mind, once chasing corporate wins, now fought for families like Daniel's. She kept a photo of Lily, taken from a school newsletter, on her desk, a reminder of why she stayed. Claire, met once at a coffee shop, softened slightly. "You're doing good, Emily," she said, but added, "Stay away from them." Emily nodded. She'd learned love meant letting go. Her apartment, sparse but hers, became a sanctuary. She cooked simple meals. Read books Lily might enjoy, imagined reading them to her someday, though she knew it was a dream. Lily was happy, healthy, loved, a complete family with Daniel and Olivia. Emily's transformation wasn't about erasing her mistakes but living with them, finding meaning in their shadow. She'd never be Lily's mother again, but she could be a woman who made a difference. One small act at a time. Emily Carter's journey lays bare a truth as sharp as it is universal. Love is not a fleeting gesture, but a daily act of presence and sacrifice. She traded her daughter Lily and husband Daniel for ambition's hollow promise, only to find success meaningless when confronted with their thriving family. Her desperate return to Seattle, fueled by guilt, spiraled into obsession, culminating in a wedding crash that exposed her deepest failure. Lily's fear and Daniel's rejection proved some choices cannot be undone. Olivia's unwavering care through Lily's heart condition revealed love's essence, showing up, consistently, through pain and fear. Emily's transformation, living humbly, advocating for child welfare, shows that while past mistakes may be permanent, growth can forge a new purpose. Her story urges us to cherish relationships through action, not regret, and to understand that love is built in the quiet, hard moments. Pause and consider those you hold dear: family, friends, community. Are you truly present for them? Not just in crises, but in daily life? Commit to small, consistent acts of care, a call, a listening ear, a shared moment. Beyond your circle, support child welfare organizations like Seattle Children's Hospital through volunteering or donations. Advocate for families facing medical burdens. Every step you take to show up strengthens the bonds that matter. Act now. Love waits for no one.